Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. Today, we are going to check out the latest single that's dropped by Babymetal. Now, for me, this is something I'm looking forward to. This dropped a few days back, and I've been holding off checking it out because I wanted to check out the channel. Obviously, Andy and Kirk, Babymetal's not really been your thing, but I'm intrigued to see where this new song goes and see if it's anything that's going to be able to change your mind about the band. But I certainly am looking forward to checking it out. So without further ado, let's go check out some Babymetal.
メタ村祭りのメタ女祭りだ祭りで寄っといで輪っかになって輪っかになってピアラ踊ろうメタ村に来さんね来さんも祭りだ祭りで寄っといで輪っかになって輪っかになってみんなで歌おうそれそれそれどっこいしょどっこいしょ踊るアホに見るアホ同じアホなり踊りんちゃいそれそれそれどっこいしょどっこいしょ踊らないんじゃ歌いんちゃい歌わないんじゃ踊りんちゃいここで踊れに踊れに踊れなかねねなに踊れ踊れ踊れそれそれどっこいしょ揺らせ揺らせそれそれ歌え歌え歌えそれそれどっこいしょ叫べ叫べそれそれわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょい寝ても覚めてもどっこいしょわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょいわっしょい猫も杓子もどっこいしょ踊るアホ売り見るアホ同じアホなら踊るでしかしここで踊らにゃいつ踊るメタリメタリ
Okay, so it's Babymetal, and I think the song is called Metalism, or Metallism, featuring Tom Morello, obviously from Rage Against the Machine fame. So, I'm actually going to let you guys go first. I was going to throw it in because I know I'm going to be probably the most positive person about this song out of us three. But I actually want to give it in our honest route around the A.D.K. So let's throw it over to Andy first to give your opinion on this particular track.
Okay. The intro was, for me, it sounded like traditional Indian music, as in from the subcontinent of India. That very quickly went into a very, very heavy riff with some, some hard-hitting sort of percussion behind it. I thought this actually might be quite good. But then that riff kind of, I don't know, sort of softened a little bit, and then the vocals started. And when they are singing without any guitars behind them, which often happens in the verses, it's to me just sounds like traditional. Is it Japanese music? Is that yeah? It just sounds like traditional Oriental music. And to me, we've done a couple of these, and I've not listened to any Babymetal other than what we've covered on the channel. And to me, it's even less metal than the ones we've done before, in my opinion. I mean, on the positive side, if that's an indication of what their stage shows are like, with the lasers and the backdrops, then I don't think you need to be a fan of the band to have a great time at one of their live shows, if that's what they come across as. I mean, there's a section as well in the middle, it almost went sort of Gangnam style, the sort of spoken word, Japanese language that was going on there. And then I said, they've obviously brought in a lead guitarist. I didn't know who it was, and you said it's Tom Morello. So there's a bit of clever marketing there, perhaps, as well. But it hasn't changed my mind about this band.
Fair enough. So for me, this is kind of what I expected from Babymetal. It's a kind of, as you said, the kind of almost banger music. So reminded me very much of Bloodywood. It's very much a Bloodywood riff. I was surprised to even see that there was almost like not a hidden. He had I think it's Raoul is the guitarist, I believe, in Bloodywood, and it almost felt like he'd actually even written the riff. But it is a kind of Bloodywood meets new metal with a side dish of Japanese in it. And the Japanese element I really heard was the string-based instrument. I can't think of. I don't know what it's called, but I've seen it in a few. The Wagaki band use them. We've seen it in the band like the Who. Not the classic British band, but the Mongolian throat singing band. They use the same sort of similar style of instrumentation as well. So there's some different. Well, I probably got that wrong actually, but there's a certain authentic traditional instrumentation they use. Overall, really like the track. I wasn't a big fan of that middle spoken thing. I didn't get it. Maybe you need to be Japanese to understand what's being said for it to make of any sort of connection to it, but it did lose the flow of the track for me. And weirdly, I actually didn't like the Tom Morello guitar effect thing over the top. Maybe I'd have preferred like a more of a traditional kind of shreddy solo or something over it. The weird effect on it didn't really do anything for me, but I actually liked the riff. I did like the vocals. The Babymetal vocals is more of a clean J-pop style vocal style on this particular song. And we're never going to get real heavy stuff on from them, but I actually like that from Babymetal. Yes, stage show wise, they are like that. So yeah, they are renowned for being a great kind of party band, if you like. Great interaction with the crowd. Lots of dance routines. I'm always intrigued by the dance choreography to know if there's like a specific meaning with some of the moves, because we know that there is, especially in certain cultures, like if they do a certain move it means a certain thing. And I'd love to get someone who knew more about that sort of side of culture to give us a breakdown of some of these moves to understand if they are actually telling a story in the dance, or is it just simplified choreography that's come out. But overall I really like the track. Kirk?
I don't understand. I might as well just say it. You were expecting me to say that. Why is this band popular? I just don't get it. They're not doing anything that's conventional, so they're not singing in English. Okay, they're bringing in rock icons like Tom Morello. I really did enjoy that solo, and the reason is because I remember buying Rage Against the Machine's last album, The Battle for Los Angeles, in 1999, and thinking, where are all the solos? He just tried to imitate a turntable, so at least to hear him playing some normal scales, some of them were quite technical. That was interesting. I just don't understand. There's nothing to this music. I'm not even going to judge it from the perspective of a metalhead, because I can listen to intelligent pop music, so I don't know what the lyrics are, and I'm not annoyed by that either. And then if anything, that's admirable that they've managed to achieve a certain level of commercial success, especially in the West, without compromising. Catchy song, I agree. Bloodywood, straight away, Dave. I was just thinking that when that opening riff came in, it reminds you, doesn't it, of Hindu civilization. I'm trying to find something positive to say about this other than the Tom Morello guitar solo. So maybe I should just keep it short and say, I don't get it. I'm never going to understand this music. I don't like it. They're probably nice people. The girls, the performers in that. I know that they've got an obsessed fan base and they would certainly be enjoyable live, but I definitely would not be listening to this band. And why these have been gracing the cover of Metal Hammer magazine is just beyond me. It's just not even, I just don't see the appeal. And maybe that's my short-sightedness, but I do try to listen to other forms of music, and I certainly would not listen to this again.
Okay. I wonder if there's that. What first thing you sort of said there is why you don't understand the massive appeal, because especially the first line you said was because obviously not singing in English. I wonder if it's the same for English bands going over to Japan, because why do English bands or English speaking bands become quite big in Japan when they're not singing in Japanese? So it's a kind of a double-edged or a two-way sort of street in the sense that how do Japanese bands or people that don't speak English make it big outside, and it's an accomplishment to do it, but also for the English-speaking bands to go over there and play like the big arenas and stuff like that is also another big accomplishment, which considering the size of their population as well as Japan, is something we should bands should obviously always want to try and break into.
Definitely.
But I think there is the appeal of it is it's because it's not doing the same as every other heavy death metal band, aggressive band, which are pretty much a dime a dozen. We see it all the time. We get the new album releases, and I struggle when we listen to like new album releases to find anything that isn't. Well, when you listen to it, you go, yeah, it's brutal, it's heavy, but I've heard it a million times before. So where's something different? And I wonder if that's what this is for. It's not going to appeal to everyone who's wanting more of a traditional, the old school metal vibe or anything like that. But it's something for those that have got a record collection of 1,000 CDs or whatever it is of death metal and aggressive metal and new metal. And they're like, do you know what? I need something else. Just for those moments. I think, Kirk, you're going to go, well, just listen to some fucking Depeche Mode then. It'll be fine. I'm just wondering if that's what it is. Because I know, yeah, and I agree. I mean, I listen to some Babymetal from time to time, but it's definitely not a band that I would put a whole album of. And it's definitely a sparse kind of like every so often just to break up that flow of certain metal styles. And you've seen me in the Kirk in the car when I'm going through my CD, my multi-tune. You're like, nope, no, I'm not in the mood for it. I want something a bit different. Then something like this might come on. I'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm in the vibe for this today. I think that's where they kind of sit for me, but I know there are other people that will absolutely live and die by the sword for bands like Babymetal and Bandmade and stuff like that, which I've not quite got my head around that level of dedication. But each to their own, as I say.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you. I mean, Kirk, you summed it up for me as well. You don't see who this appeals to and what the appeal is, but then Dave, on the flip side, you kind of opened the argument and saying, well, this is what they're doing. Maybe that's the sort of band ethos, to be something different away from the traditional forms of metal without being so stupid and extreme like some of the things we've seen. You know, they're not so extreme that there's no appeal, but you think, who are they appealing to? And I think the answer to that is people who just want something a little bit different, you know, a break from what they would normally listen to. And obviously with the traditional elements, you know, their fans from, you know, their home country fans are going to absolutely lap it up. But it's not something I'm ever going to go back to either.
No.
You know,
it was an interesting one actually. I think on the last album, before the most recent stuff that came out, is I didn't get it because it didn't sound like the early Babymetal. So early Babymetal was much heavier, was all kind of loads of blast beats, aggressive stuff going on. Yes, it had sort of the same sort of style, cutesy J-pop kind of vocal styles, but was much more aggressive musically. And then on the last album, they kind of did this thing. I didn't quite understand it until I did a reaction to it, and it was people were telling me, well, they decided they didn't want to just do traditional styles of metal music. They wanted to explore different styles of music and incorporate it in with metal. So they were taking like drum and bass and mixing it in, and then they were taking like this Bangra music and they're trying to mix it in, and they were taking dance music tracks, and they were literally going, well, we're going to go around the world and grab styles and slam it in with some guitar stuff and do it, and just so we don't want to sound like anyone else that's doing it. And I think this is more of a continuation of that, which is kind of borrowing from different cultures and mixing it in there, which I don't think is a bad thing. It just shows that they're looking. You could say that they're heavy, like in this one, they heavily borrowed from Bloodywood. In fact, if you took the Japanese vocals off, that could have just been a Bloodywoods track quite easily. But I don't mind. I'm intrigued to hear more about them for the new album. So I'll definitely be checking it out. But I doubt we'll be doing it again on the A.D.K channel. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in another video sometime very soon. Take care.